Welcome to the Speak Uneasy, a safe space where cancel culture does not exist because we are in a different prohibition era.
You're very exceptionary. No dictionary can define what's genuinely indescribable. Very exceptionary. No ordinary phrase can capture you. Now some might say that you're tremendous. You are so much more stupendous, so magnificent, so magnanimous. If we voted, it'd be unanimous. Very exceptionary. This temporary phrase we'll have to do. It's true for my very exceptionary you. Well, some might say that you're tremendous. You are so much more stupendous, so magnificent, so magnanimous. If we voted, it'd be unanimous. Very exceptionary. This temporary phrase we'll have to do, it's true, for my very exceptionary. For my very exceptionary you.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Speak Uneasy with your host, the Bartender. Tonight's random read comes from the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verses 1 through 5, God's Fierce Anger. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. The Lord hath swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and hath not pitied. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. He hath cut off his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. He hath drawn back his right hand from before the enemy. And he burned against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devoureth round about. He hath bent his bow like an enemy. He stood with his right hand as an adversary, and slew all that were pleasant to the eye in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his fury like fire. The Lord was as an enemy. He hath swallowed up Israel. He hath swallowed up all her palaces. He hath destroyed his strongholds. And hath increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation. This random read comes from the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verses 1 through 5, God's Fierce Anger. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming to the bar. Great to be here again doing God's work. Not a popular place to be, but nonetheless, we still press on for those who want to hear. I had the honor of meeting up with my buddy out there in San Antonio, Mr. C, this Saturday. Great time, great conversation. It was nice to see him. We were talking about some kind of transhumanism stuff and biblical stuff. And I know he's been hitting on him and Java have been hitting on the transhumanism for the past few weekends on the in the Dark show. And I had this discussion with Mr. C about how the G agenda, or I should say the alphabet community agenda, right? The gender push for identifying as however you want to, it correlates with the whole transhumanism thing. They want you to not, how should I say? They want you to not identify as what you are born as, because that definitely goes against how God has created us. And, the thing with Satan is he always tries to reverse everything that God has told us and everything that God has done for us and everything that God has given to us. Everything in history that has that God has presented to us, the devil always flipped it around. Hence why we're living in these days right now of I guess you can say confusion for those people who are confused. But I think a big problem with that is that they don't have that not religion, but they don't have that relationship. They don't have that relationship with Christ. And, part of me doing this is to, try to get you to, form your own relationship with God. It's a beautiful thing. And I've said this many times before. I wasted a big chunk of my life not even having a relationship. And it's funny because I was telling Mr. C last weekend that I think in these times, God is picking a lot of people who wouldn't normally be spreading the word of God, I guess you can say. He's picking out certain people like that to do his work. And I'm nobody special. I don't know much, but for some odd reason, he's pulled me to do something like this, and I'm very honored to do it. I don't know how to do it, but I'm doing the best I can with what I know. And during this journey, I'm learning and I'm growing and maturing. So part of this show on Mondays is to share the experience with everybody. It's a beautiful thing. I've never felt so much more at peace, especially when I'm detaching away from the world. I've never felt so much in peace internally. Never been like this. Never felt like this before. And I'm very happy too. I have a lot less materialistically, but like spiritually, and also the connections of people, man. Like I was very antisocial. I was a very antisocial guy. And a lot of that had to do with my former job as well. Being in law enforcement, you want to be surrounded by people who are like-minded, who get it, because, to be honest, the general public, sometimes they don't get it. They don't get it. And a part of that is because of how media has portrayed people in law enforcement as. And, sometimes the public just doesn't understand the mind of somebody who's in law enforcement. But, I'm glad to have done that job for about 14, 15 years. But I think that, I think there was a reason why I went through what I went through to get out. And I'm very grateful for it, because I feel that what I'm doing now has more purpose to it. It's not as much, I'm making nothing compared to what I used to make, but I may have not been making as much money, but I tell you what, man, like the inner peace within me, I've never had this before. Even as a child, especially as a child, I grew up in a very broken home, in a place where children shouldn't have to see certain things. And, to come out from that and to finally be here where I'm at, I would not trade it for the world. I would not trade it for the world. I don't know why God picked me. And that's the truth. I remember there was one day sometime a couple years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And this was before I got baptized, right? I was sleeping one day. We've already moved out of California at the time. And I was in my house because it was still up for sale. The house that we had in California was still up for sale. And it was an empty house, and I was there by myself because my family we have already moved to Texas. So I'm staying at the house, and it's like what? Like a 1,600 square foot home, empty. I'm by myself. And this is during the day because I work night shift, and I've always worked night shift ever since. But there was one day where I was sleeping, and out of nowhere, I don't know why I woke up and started crying and saying yes. And I felt this, I felt I felt God's presence. I seriously think I felt God's presence, and I was crying like uncontrollably. I was crying, and I said yes. And now looking back, after getting baptized, after this this journey that I've been going through spiritually, it makes sense that he tapped me for this job. And like I said, man, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I really wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm glad that he thinks I'm that special for me to be doing this, and we all have a job for him to, for us to do for him. And it's just a matter of you finding out what your job is. And believe me, he will tap you. But you have to open up to him. You have to accept God and Jesus Christ as your Savior. You got to do it, or else you won't have these experiences. Like I'm trying to tell everybody that I was never like this, man. Never. I'd mock people like this. I'd mock people who would preach out in the streets or talk about this all the time. I would mock them because it wasn't like, I thought it was a joke. Like, no, these guys are not serious. But, I think a lot of them, there are a lot of frauds out there. But, you kind of get a sense, if you're in tune with how people are, you kind of get a sense that there are some genuine people doing this. And, man, I tell you, this has been an amazing journey thus far. Gosh, I'm so blessed. And it's funny, although I don't have any, like, financially, I don't have anything like I used to. I don't care. I feel a lot more rich with what I have, as far as my family. Man, that's the biggest thing for me right there, because traveling back and forth for the past 2 years, missing my daughter grow, and I missed a big chunk of my son's life, because even though we lived in California together and stuff, I used to work so much that I missed a lot of things about my son, him growing up, and I didn't want that experience. I didn't want that to continue on with my daughter. So I'm glad that now I'm here, and of course, for those people who know my situation, we have a DJ company, and it's a family-owned business, and all of us are involved in it. And man, I tell you, like, every time me and my daughter, or my family, me, my wife, and my daughter, we go out to do parties, it's a great feeling to see my daughter up playing music, and people are watching her playing music and saying, like, how does she know that old stuff? This is a great thing. This is an amazing thing, because I'm watching in real time the connection of my family, and people are witnessing it too while we DJ. So I think it's such a beautiful thing. So anyhow, I know I've been on a rant here. Hey, Tamer Grau, what is going on? Thank you for coming over to the bar. M1911 Zoom, thank you so much for the cookie. Most of all, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Tamer Grau, thank you for the can as well. Doug is what? Doug's my. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the can. Thank you for the can. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that I have people here. Like I said, this is not a popular place to be, but nonetheless, this is a place for people who want to listen, to hear. This is just me sharing my experience. People out there might know more than me about the Bible and stuff. I'm just reading the Bible, and I'm sharing videos here that kind of influence me in this journey. So yeah. Let's see. Running through the Foxhole channels. See you soon. Okay. Thank you for being here, 1911. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless you. And thank you again. Thank you so much for that cookie. So, yeah, that's been my experience. And, I tell you, man, this has been such an amazing experience. And, I don't know why. It's been assigned to me, but hey, I'm going with it, and this is what I'm going to do. So thank you for those who are here. All right, so I hope you guys have your swords with you. And when I refer to swords, I mean the KJVs. I hope you guys have your KJVs with you so we can read along. I think we're going to continue. I think we stopped at Matthew, the book of Matthew. I think we're at chapter 23, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Chapter 23, I believe. Let me take you guys over there just in case you don't have your KJVs, but you should always have your KJVs with you, especially the times we're going through right now. You know, just because things are not happening in your neck of the woods, you gotta think that spiritually things can happen, especially in this. And I'm telling you, like, this journey, ever since I started this journey, man, the devil has been very clever as to how to attack me sometimes. You know, like when I first got baptized, man, that same night, he spiritually attacked me. But I already knew that it was him and I wasn't afraid. Throughout the course of that, you know, from time to time, you know, things would happen. A couple weeks ago, almost a month ago, man, I was questioning my faith. And, you know, I had to tell myself, like, no, dude, this is what the devil does. And I just got to keep pressing on. I got to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm not going to let the devil tell me otherwise, because that's what he does. He sweet talks people into thinking like, you know, you're right. You know, he wants you to say, yeah, you know, you're right. This is all a farce. This is all fake. No, I'm going to keep on going. You know, I promised God to do it, and I'm going to do it because I don't want to say no to God. I don't want to have to disobey God, because if I do, I really don't want to find out what's going on. All right. Let's see. Tamargirl says, I know why you were chosen, because you are chosen. Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I'm nobody. Like, to everybody out there, I'm nobody special. I'm just a regular guy going through life just like everybody is out there. All of us are chosen for something. We all have a job from God. It's just a matter of tapping into what it is. You have to know you have to figure out what it is. I really believe that we all have a part in this. We're all God's children. We all have an assignment. But, you know, like I said, the only way you're going to find that out is to open up, you know, have that relationship. You got to have that relationship. But I warn you, the more serious you get in this walk, okay, there's going to be a lot of attacks, not only spiritually, but even sometimes people that you trust in your circle will turn against you because they don't believe the same thing that you believe. The world will attack you. The world will not like you. You know, Jesus always said that he wasn't here to geez, I can't quote him good. I can't get the quote there, but it was something to the effect of he wasn't here to bring peace. He was here to set his people free, or something to that effect, right? Like I said, I'm not an expert in this. I'm still kind of like a baby, but I remember him saying something to the effect of he wasn't here to bring peace. As a matter of fact, he was here to divide people, right? He was here to divide people, and he was here to save people, is what I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing if you didn't notice. So, let's see. Tamargrau says, my KJV is very fragile, falling apart. Hey, that means you've been putting good use into it, and that's a good thing. Doug is I have been blessed to hear so many testimonials on Foxhole. You know what? I tell you, man, like, I don't know why. I don't know how. It doesn't matter, though, because I'm here now. The only thing that matters is that I'm here now. And there has to be a reason why I was directed here, you know? There was a reason why God didn't want me to continue on with law enforcement. There was a reason why I was in Texas. And to be honest, when my family and I were planning on moving out here, Texas felt like the place to be. There was something about this state that was calling me over here. Not only was it that I liked it, I liked the people here. The weather is the weather again can get rough, but you know what? That's like a small thing for me. The biggest thing is, the cost of living here, of course. Texas is supposed to be a red state. That was a big thing because we came from California, Southern California, at that. And also the people here were just so welcoming. They're very hospitable. They're very polite. And they're very genuine too, It took me a while to kind of acclimate to the way Texans are. For example, I was at a grocery store. This is when I first moved out here, right? Some lady just starts talking to me out of the blue. And if you're in California, you're kind of defensive because you're thinking, all right, what do you want from me? But no, the lady was just talking about, I forgot where we were talking about milk. I think it was just, over some milk. And, no, she was just having an honest, casual conversation with me. And now that I've acclimated, I kind of do the same thing too. So it's beautiful to be here in Texas, man. It really is. It really, really, really is. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for that, Tamara Grau. Yes, I'm glad that I'm very close because I never thought that, if you'd ask my wife, if you'd ask people that I used to work with, they would tell you straight up. I would be, nah, man, I wasn't one of those people. I was not one of those people. But I was all into the whole, quote, conspiracy theory stuff. I was always searching for truth. At least since 2006. I've always been like that. But having realized that Christ is the truth for me, and I think Christ is the truth, period. There is no other truth than God. Everything here in the world is a farce. It's just for show. That's the way I see it. So let's go ahead and get into this because I am excited to get into the Bible. Yes, sirree. All right, here we go. So, we're in chapter 22. I'm sorry. Chapter 22. Well, I am going to read off of this website here. So let's go ahead and begin. Matthew chapter 22 from verses 1, the parable of the wedding banquet. And Jesus answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and set forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding. And they would not come. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed. And all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it, and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants, and entreated them spitefully, and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth. And he set forth his armies, and destroyed those murderers, and burnt up their city. They said he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So the servants went out into the highways, and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Check this out. For many are called, but few are chosen. Remember that. That's probably the biggest line right there in this read. Verse 14. For many are called, but few are chosen. Don't be the many. Be the few. Be the few. And I care about people's salvation. I really do. I'm going to repeat that again. For many are called, but few are chosen. Please build your relationship up. Things are moving really fast with this world right now. We have no time. We have no time. Verse 15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they set out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Shew me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he saith unto them, Who is this image and superscription? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. I'm going to pause there because I really got to stress this out for a lot of people out there. And I've been yelling at the top of my lungs about this kind of stuff. It is time to detach yourself of this world. It really is. You will find a lot of true happiness once you do that. I'm living testimony of it. Is it difficult? Materialistic-y? Heck yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it is. But when you start putting your trust into God, things will happen. Things may not happen. Things may not happen right away, but you find some kind of inner peace knowing that you can always rely on God for something. God should be the one to be lifting you up, not what this world has to offer you. You know? And that's a prime example of what Jesus just quoted here. Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. We are God's children. We cannot attach ourselves to this world. We all know. If you have a relationship with Christ, you all know that this is the devil's kingdom here on earth. This is the devil's kingdom. Whether you want to believe that or not, it is. It's time to detach yourself of this place, man. And when I'm saying that, I'm talking in spiritual lingo, okay? And it's time to focus more on your faith. And I'm telling you, man, yeah, we have to go through rough times. We have to, right? We have to. But bear it. Bear it. Walk through it. Don't give up. Don't. Because it's only temporary. It's only in the present time that you'll be feeling that way. Man, when this is all said and done, I believe that there's going to be such a great place that we don't have to worry about this stuff anymore. I sincerely mean that, you know. This is coming from a person who's never been like this before. And I've said this multiple times. Don't attach yourself to this world. Don't be distracted with the soap opera going on around the world. Don't. Focus more. All you need is in this book. You don't need to watch the news to see what's going on. Everything in this book has happened, and it's only happening again. Do you need to be aware of what's going on? Yes, you do. You do need to be aware so you can compare to what Scripture says. Everything you need is here in this book. I never thought I'd be saying something like this, but hey, this is where we're at. Everything you need is in this book. There's no man out there who can un-F this place. This place is beyond fixable for any kind of man to fix. It really is. It really is. I'm telling you, man. Salvation. Do it for your salvation, man. Invest in your spiritual life. Not of this world. What's this world got to offer you? What does it have to offer you? You know, when I vested so much of my life into this world and I mean, yeah, I got a lot of money when I earned a lot of money when I used to be a cop. Yes, absolutely. I was able to go on trips. I was able to buy a house, bought a couple cars. But was there actually anything within me that was happy? No. Now that I have less, I've never been more happier in my entire life. My family is my gold. My friends are my silver. You know, that's what's more important to me. Because when I'm in my time of need, you know who's going to be there? The people who care about you. The people who care about you. God's going to be there for you too. Just remember that. Anyhow, let's continue on. When they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. Yeah, they had nothing to say. It was called a mic drop moment for Jesus, wasn't it? The same day came to him the Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die, having no children, his brother shall marry his wife, and raise up seed unto his brother. Now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third unto the 7th. And last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall be of the 7? For they all had her. Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the Scriptures, nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by God, saying, I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob? God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. Damn, another mic drop right there, man. It would have been cool to be there just to see that with my jaw just drop. Like, dang, what are you going to say to him after that? And when the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his doctrine. They sure were, weren't they? Can you imagine that? Can you just imagine that? But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, here we go, the finagling of words, a lawyer, right? That's what they're expert at, asked him a question, tempting him, and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them, saying, What think ye of Christ? Whose son is he? They say unto him, the son of David. He said unto them, How then doth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou on the right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool. Damn! Man, it would have been so cool to be there just to see that. If David then call him Lord, how is he son? And no man was able to answer him a word. Neither durst any man from that day forth ask him any more questions. Dang. Man, they got served, dude. Pharisees got served, like straight up. Straight up, man. All right, let's go to chapter 23. Let me go to the chats here real quick. Tam Girl says I'm closer now. Thank you. Yes, I am. I get the feeling that I am getting closer. I really am, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. Christ is the plan. He sure is. Him, man, I cannot wait. But first, before he comes, I gotta fix myself. I mean, let's admit it. We all need to fix ourselves first. We need to fix ourselves first and present ourselves when we're ready to be presented. Because honestly, can you honestly say to yourself right now that you're ready? I can honestly say to myself that I'm not ready. And I think this is why things are taking long. We're wondering when he's coming back, and I think the reason why is because the time that we're given right now is the time for us to prepare. So, you got to take that into consideration about the time that we're given. It's not because certain things have. No, I think we need to prepare ourselves for us to see the coming. Okay. Tamara Grau says those written in the book are chosen. An easy movie before the wrath, all about being the bride and the groom. Amen to that. Amen. All right, let's go to chapter 23 here. Chapter 23. The scribes and the Pharisees. From verse 1. Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their work, for they say and do not. I have to read that again because I'm kind of my mind is jumbling right now on the way they speak English. All therefore who whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. Okay, I got it. I understand it now. For they bid heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulder, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. Okay. I guess this can pertain to somebody who says they do but don't do. They say they do but they don't. I don't know. I that's the feeling I'm getting. Kind of like do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. So I guess this can pertain to a lot of the quote political leaders that are gallivanting around doing whatever they're doing and telling us to do things. Like I don't know, people from the WEC right? Or WEF, I mean WEC, WEF, the World Economic Forum, like Carl, what's his name? Schwab. The Great Reset, whatever. They're trying to bring in what, and I know I'm kind of going left field with this, but it's a correlation here, right? With the whole weather, I don't know, the climate change stuff and all that's, let's continue on here. From verse 5. But all their works they do for to be seen of men, they make broad their phylacteries, and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at feast, and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. Okay, I'm beginning to understand this now a little bit. But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all ye are brethren. And call no man your father upon the earth. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father, which is in heaven. Amen to that. Amen to that. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Christ. It's the Pharisees, dude. It's the people of this world, man. It's the quote leaders of this world. I guess he's talking. This could be referred to them, right? But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. I think we all need to be humbled. I think we do. Especially the young people, man. There's so much lack of being humble. There really is. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer, therefore ye receive the greater damnation. So I guess they use God's name to do their bidding, right? You know, it's funny. I was just reading something about the Jesuits who kind of do that too. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. So they judge people, and they don't even look at themselves. That can apply for a lot of people, though, right? That can apply for a lot of people who judge, but they don't even look at themselves. Pardon me. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Oh, man. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifieth the gold? Obviously, these scribes and Pharisees care more about the gold than the actual meaning of what the temple is. And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing, but whosoever sweareth by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifieth the gift? Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar sweareth by it, and by all things thereon. And whoso shall swear by the temple sweareth by it, and by him that dwelleth therein. And he that shall swear by heaven sweareth by the throne of God, and by him that sitteth thereon. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye pay tithe of the mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat, and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Oh man, this is hard stuff, dude. Like on the outside, people will present themselves as one thing, but in the inside, they're very, very ugly, right? Unclean. I guess you could say unclean. A lot of people are like this. And, for me, I'm going to be as genuine as I am to you. That's just me. I mean, if I like you, you're going to know. If I don't, you're going to know that too. Not because I'm going to be aggressively hating on you. It's because I just don't want to talk to you and I'll just avoid you. Let's see. Where was I? Thou blind Pharisees, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Damn, dude. He's schooling these guys, man. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones, and of all uncleanliness. Yo, I have to say, there are a lot of people that I knew that are like this. And when I say new, I mean past tense, because a lot of this went on at work. I was surrounded by a lot of people who would present themselves one way, but are really not the way they present themselves as. And it showed, If it's one thing I learned about the job is how to read people. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. Okay, let me stop there. Let me just tell you guys that when I do this, I don't proclaim to be any righteous person at all. Okay? I myself have a lot of work to do within myself. I just want people to know that I'm just as human as you are, and we all need to fix something within ourselves. Hence the show being called My Journey with God. It's a journey, dude. We all know that we all have something about us that needs to be fixed. For me, I can honestly look at myself in the mirror and say, yeah, I need to do this, I need to do that. There's certain things about myself that I need to fix, and I pray about that every day. I do. I tell you, man, it gets very difficult. It gets difficult, especially when the devil starts tapping into things that I still have problems with. It gets very difficult. And I don't claim to be any righteous person. I claim to be a person who's trying to fix myself and trying to strengthen my relationship and walk this path no matter how difficult it is. I'm bearing the cross. And I want other people out there to know that don't feel alone. Don't feel that you're the only one bearing a cross walking in this journey if you're in this journey. This is why I tell people at the end of the show to pick each other up, because we all have to depend on each other to pick each other up, right? I just don't say that just to sound kind of cool or whatever. No, I say that because I mean it. It comes from within me. It's what I mean, We can't rely on anybody else, like government-wise, right? We have to depend on our neighbors every once in a while for us to help, for some help. So being that we're in this community here, I encourage it all the time. I encourage that we pick each other up when we fall. Sometimes I talk about the struggles I have as far as like, the temptations or even the spiritual attacks, or how, like I said earlier, that I was questioning my faith. I share that because I know people out there, they feel the same way too sometimes. But it's called faith for a reason, man. It's called faith for a reason. And you just got to fight through it. You just got to fight through it. Okay, let me read on. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. Okay, I read that. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets, and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. They denied Jesus being the Son of God, dude, and they still have the nerve. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Especially after what they've been through after Christ died, all that stuff that happened to Pontius Pilate and what's his face, the high priest. I forgot his name. Caiaphas. All that stuff that they've been through after Christ died, man, they still didn't learn. They didn't learn from that. They did not. Where are we at? Okay, 31. Verse 31. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. That is so true. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers, ye serpents, ye generation of vipers. How can ye escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify. Dude, this is part of the reason why this journey is such a narrow road. Exactly what I said in the beginning, where people will hate you. People will hate you, man. I'll read this again, okay? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city. Okay, so let me finish this up, and then there's something I want to say about that. Verse 35, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon his generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathered her chickens under her wings, and ye would not? Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Dang, dude. That right there, man, that's a mic drop. That is a mic drop, you know? Okay, so as I explained earlier, I used to be in law enforcement. I was a sheriff's deputy back in California, and being a person who's I'm not gonna call myself a badass or anything like that. Because I am not. I'm just a regular man, just like any other man out there. But I always went to work with this mentality of, am I prepared to die? Okay. I've always went in to work with that mentality of, am I prepared to die? And I've accepted that I was always prepared to die every day that I went to work, because you never know, things can happen in that line of work where just one thing and you might not go home after that. So it was called, for me, I'm all into I used to be all into the samurai spirit and the bushido, just the whole samurai spirit, right? The fighting, But I always had the mentality of, are you prepared to die? And I always said to myself, yeah, I'm prepared to die. Well, I can actually apply that to this too, being that I ride with God and I ride with Christ and Jesus, that, you may have to ask yourself, are you prepared to go through everything that comes with a Christ follower? And, it's all fun and games when we hear prosperity, gospel and things of that nature. But to be honest, like, you got to take everything. You can't pick and choose what you want from Christ. It's everything. It's the good and the bad. So that also means that with the prosperity that we're going to receive, when we advance to the next life, because I don't believe it's a death. I believe it's a life. It's life at another level, right? When we ascend into heaven, I believe that it's another level of life, but you got to be prepared of what the world's going to do to you because you chose life with God. You have to be prepared. Is it a scary thought? It could be a scary thought. It's not really a scary thought for me, because, at the end of the day, I think, we all we understand that at some point in time, our bodies are just it's not going to function anymore, right? I don't want to use the D word, because I don't believe that we believe that we go. I believe that we ascend into we go into a higher place in life. That's what I want to believe, especially if it's going to be with God. Like, God is life. God is life. He's not death. The devil is death. So I refuse to call it death. So I'm on the mindset. The point I'm trying to make here is I'm at the mindset that, am I prepared for this body to stop? Yes, I'm prepared for this body to stop in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ, and God. I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared mentally. I can say to myself, yes. Am I kind of scared? Of course. Who wouldn't be scared of something like that? It's not normal to think that way. You don't say to yourself every day that, are you prepared to go? No. But that mentality has stuck with me because of my former job. So, I just wanted to share that with everybody out there. And you have to ask yourself that. You have to be honest to yourself. If you're going to walk this path, you're taking everything that comes with it. It ain't a popular path. I already knew this wasn't a popular path, but there was a reason also. There was a reason also why my circle of friends is not big. There's a reason for that. Not because I'm an a-hole necessarily, but because I'm very picky about who comes into my circle. But yeah, I'm okay not having much. I'm really okay not having much friends. I mean, it's always been like that for me ever since I was in high school, to be honest. And now that I look back, it seemed that God has been preparing me for a while already. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I got my family. So that's, like I said earlier, man, my family's gold. Everybody else that comes into my life, that I come across, and we meet and we have a good connection, that they're my silver. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So I think we're going to stop there at 23. I really wanted to touch on 24 as well, but I don't think we're going to have time, only because I want to share a video with you guys that, I like to do that every Mondays. I like to share videos that inspire me with my journey with God. So you get an understanding of where my mind is and where, how is this journey for me. It's not to be vain or anything. It's just a means of saying to people that, look, if you are a follower of Christ and you're going through some hard times and you're growing, I want you to teach me. And if there's something I can teach, which I doubt I have anything to teach because I'm just a baby in this, then that's good. And I like to convince people, like, with my testimonies, I like to tell them, like, dude, put your faith, give your life to Christ. And I'm telling you, man, like, a lot of things that have been beating you up in this world is just gonna it's gonna feel like a relief. It's I want to make the analogy of, never mind, I won't make that analogy, but it's just a big relief. It just feels like a big relief. And it seems like I'm more hungrier now for God's word. I'm hungrier for that. I still see news about the world, but I only do that to compare it to what's in the Bible, to make sure that I understand that these are the signs of what's, this is happening because it's, you know what I mean. I don't have to go deep into that, but that's pretty much where I am when it comes to the news of this world. I just make comparisons to the scriptures and see where it's at right now. Because even though I don't know when Christ is going to come, I want to be able to know what the signs are at least. So that's the best way for me to, I guess, prepare myself, right? Is to make sure that I'm seeing the signs right. Anyhow, let me take you guys back to the bar here. And let me go back to the bar. Okay. All right. Let me see what's up here in the chats. Tamara Girl says, Jesus is saying the globalists are parading around. Yeah. Yep. Wearing Gaudi outfits. Gaudi? Are you talking about Trey Gaudi? The scribes equals MSN of the day. Yeah. Well, they can also be the pastors who are freaking, like, who uses God's name too. Because I'm telling you, like, even with churches, man, I think going through 2020 kind of exposed the true church, like, who the true churches are. When you had these churches who convinced people to get stuck and to wear that thing on their face, those churches were not of God. It was those churches that did the opposite of that. Those are the churches of God. But yeah, but what do I know? I don't know anything. I'm just a follower of Christ, man. I'm just a soldier in the ranks, just like you guys. I'm just a soldier in the ranks. That's all that I am. All right. Well, I'm streaming on other... Alternate Kids, Shalom. Hey, Alternate Kids from Twitch. I'm glad that there's somebody out here in Twitch. Cool. Shalom. Everything is a chasm. Move forward and then it reverses it. Everything thinks this says do not do as they say or do, but it says do as they tell you to do. Just don't do like they do. No, you're absolutely right, Alternate Kids. You're absolutely right. And thank you for coming to the bar. If you're still there on Twitch, thank you so much. I don't mean to, like, ignore you, but I usually don't get viewers here. Well, I'm glad that there's somebody out there on Twitch. Thank you for coming. Thank you. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to kill the streams because I'm also on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Facebook. So I'm going to kill those streams. There's nobody there anyway. And And after that, I'm going to share a video with you guys. And, I hope that you take something out of the video. Every time I'm here on Mondays, when I play these videos, I pray that people take something from it. Get a step closer to God. Build that up more. I'm telling you, man, everything that's in this world right now, it's unfixable. By human standards, it's unfixable. I don't care who it is that you think is the hero out there, but you got to understand, all these things that are happening right now is to prepare the Antichrist to come, and the Antichrist has to come. He or she or they or whatever it is, they have to come because it was already prophesied in Scripture. What's written by God, or inspired by God, right? The people who wrote the Bible, they were inspired by God's words. You got to understand, like, there's no way to change this. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I'm not trying, I have to constantly say this because people think that I'm a downer, a Debbie Downer or something like that. No. What I'm trying to say is that get your ish together with your relationship with God. You got to get that in line, man. Get that in line. That is what's going to matter. It doesn't matter who you vote. I mean, you can go ahead and do your voting and all that stuff. Be active, sure. But, at the end of the day, it's still man. And it's still this is still the devil's kingdom. And some way or another, unless they're very, very noble, which I doubt they are, they'll be tainted. And I hate to say something like that, but that's just the way that I've been observing how politicians are ever since I followed these things since 2006. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. And I hate to say that. I don't want people to think that, you're liberal now. No, dude. Like, I'm still conservative, but I put my relationship with God as a priority, as opposed to who I supposedly support. It's irrelevant now. In these times, it's really irrelevant who you support. It really is. So take that for what that's worth. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and shut off YouTube. Good night to you.